6th, you get 3. 7th, you get 2, and 8th, you get 1. So, I mean, those first places, very important in the grand scheme of things of that night. I know I just said a lot of numbers, but what you need to know most is you get 10 points for first place.
Shout out for first right there. But a big thing we always notice pretty much every single season is that the first game, you pretty much got to get top 4. Because it pretty much, it's not that you're mathematically eliminated. It's just that usually the winner is top 3. But that top 4 gets you close enough to also be within grasp of game 2 and 3. If you have maybe one more bad game there. But you got to pretty much play dominantly all throughout the night. You got 3 matches to get your points. Getting first in the first game is obviously going to help a lot towards getting you towards that chance at the final.
Yeah, and the meta in these is always, you know, play for as many engagements as possible because you don't lose points for dying. You lose points for wasting time amongst the map. Those are the opportunities where you can, you know, maybe get some points in other situations where if you're playing super slow, you have kind of no option to get points. We do see like kind of the kick back and play for those pick style work at times, but those team shots, those third parties, you know, you may not be on a team, but shooting at the same player, you might be able to net yourself a few stolen kills here and there, which are big in the grand scheme of things here. We almost got a ninja right there, which would have been absolutely fantastic. Off the break, though, we got one player at 7. That's going to be Benjo Stark with a hot start, HHexizy with 6, and then everybody kind of rearing up behind with, you know, some 5s, some 4s, some 3s. It's obviously very early on here. We got a long match ahead of us, but we're going to have 3 FFA matches. Most points wins.
Hey, let's see who gets the most points by the end of it. We get to see a lot go down. We got the power weapons on the board here. I'd say the power weapons. We got the heat wave on this map is the main thing you're looking for. Hasn't come into too much handy in the previous matches that we've seen. There's been a couple players that have been able to dominate with it, but only for a short time. That active camo, also a thing to look for on the map. Once again, also a thing we haven't seen too many people dominate with, but I think last season we saw the best player in the lobby end up grabbing it, going on like a 5 or 6 kill streak in a row there, getting a lot of it. But now we see the heat wave and the active camo in the hands of Benjo Stark at the exact same time. Let's see what he can get out of it.
I feel like the active camo with the heat wave is kind of the best way to operate with it, because in these FFA situations, it can be kind of difficult to close that gap at times. Like you see Benjo Stark, he's really having to work hard to kind of get near these opponents. He is able to find one onto Mr. Stonietoni, and he puts himself at that 10 kill column. HHexizy right behind him, and you see HHexizy 10 and 10 so far, setting that pace, finding those engagements, and you know, that's got to be a good part as to why he has so many kills right now.
I mean, 21 engagements. I mean, more, honestly, with the assists and stuff as well is pretty insane. Though now 22. Love to see it out of HHexizy. Just getting up there in the engagement numbers non-stop. Gonna probably stay at the top of the lobby all night long. But this one's a close one for the battle for first at the moment. Obviously, 11 minutes and 45 seconds left on the timer. So right now it may be close, but I'm sure someone will get a gap going at some point here. You see these players absolutely battling it out all the way across the map. Some of them want the heat wave, some of them just want a little bit of map pressure. Look at the heat wave go. But Brian or Kevin, which one is it tonight? Is it Brian or is it Kevin? Don't really know, but I'm sure we'll find out soon, because I hear that Brian is very good in the 4v4 circuit, whereas Kevin is a free-for-all demon.
I mean, you really do never know. I mean, they could be operating 2 players, 1 controller sort of situation. It may be Brian and Kevin. I mean, that's kind of a different wrinkle that we haven't thought about just yet. I mean, Brian and Kevin on one team. You know, you're not allowed to have teams in free-for-all. So, I mean, 2 people, you got to think that might be somewhat of an advantage.
I mean, I think, honestly, that might be cheating. But, hey, we're not the judges here. We're just the casters, right? That's not our problem. Shout out Brian or Kevin for cheating the system and having 2 players. Now, playing with 2 players on 1 controller might be a little bit tricky, but I do believe that might be what we're seeing right now.
It is possible. Almost hitting that 3rd mark of the game, almost at that 10-minute mark. And through it, we have a very close one on our hands, CNK. You know, a lot of the times we see somebody kind of run away with it. Maybe that happens in the 2nd, 3rd, but right now you got HHexizy at 16. You got 3 players sitting at 14. As I say, that Dragonbane picks up his 15th. And then everybody kind of close on behind. Mr. Stonietoni kind of having a slow start, but still a lot of time left in the game. A lot of time for Stonietoni to find some kills on the board. But, you know, let's see if HHexizy can kind of keep it up as we hit the 10-minute mark.
Hey, I'm thinking HHexizy is going to keep on moving. But Benjo Stark, once again, has the heat wave in hand, looking to get some kills on the board. up to that 16 marker. There's a couple people tied up at 16. HHexizy still in the lead at that 17. Is going to get tied up by BrianorKevin, the duo going strong. There are supposed to be 8 players in the lobby, but I do believe there are currently 9 with that duo.
And Benjo Stark, he's been rocking this heat wave a good amount. He finds a 2-piece with it as well. So what we said is kind of difficult at times. He has found some leverage with it so far. Let's see if he can make it 19. He kind of whiffs that shot right there. But 18 and 19 for Benjo, Brian, and HHexizy currently. Dragonbane not far behind with 17. And one thing I've noticed is HHexizy has very much so kept up that pace that he has stuck with since the start. He's only +2 on the map right now, but leading in the kill column. As I say that, BrianorKevin finds their 20th on the board, the first lead overtaking for BrianorKevin. Let's see if they can run away with it here. Still a very close one all across the board. I feel like this is anybody's game, CNK.
I really do feel like anyone can win this right now. I mean, you've got a pretty close game between, anyone. Ooh, I mean, look at everything going down on the map right now. We got some wild and plays going down, and a couple players coming out on top. But we've got 2 players at 20. We got a player at 21. Darkkiller hits a triple kill, looking to make it the quad. Isn't able to quite get the penta. I don't know why I'm calling it a penta, the over. But you know, mixing my games up here because the penta is 5, and an overkill is what matters in Halo.
Yeah, and as we start, casting this situation, it kind of all comes back to me at one time. Those double kills, triple kills, and even overkills can be such a huge swing in the game for some of these players. It's like, imagine if somebody like BrianorKevin pops an overkill right now. He goes from 24 kills instantly at 28, creates a humongous lead for himself. Or for somebody like HHexizy that goes from being down 4 to instantly being a tie game on the map. Those multi-kills, obviously you want to shoot for them, but they can be game-changing at times. So you always want to watch that kill feed, see if anybody's popping overkills, because if you see an overkill in the feed, you might want to take a closer look at that scoreboard real quick, because there might have been a shift.
Hey, the shift is real. We saw it last season with an overkill happening to end the game. I mean, look at this. They're smacking each other back and forth. Gunfight will be won there, but we've got 2 players up to 26 kills, so things are definitely progressing very quickly. Got a player at 23 and 2 at 22. So things are very closely contested in the top 5. We'll see who ends up taking it. These players have 7.5 minutes to keep on fighting the first map through. We get ourselves up to that 50 kill mark. It's looking like we're basically on pace for it.
We are just about on pace for it. Benjo Stark or BrianorKevin could potentially hit that 50 kill mark, because we are just past the halfway point of the game. The halfway point of the Street for All lobby is when it hits that 7 minutes and 30 seconds left on the game. And BrianorKevin sitting at 28 kills and 22 deaths, kind of taking that slower approach that I was saying doesn't work in the beginning. But what can I say? It is working for BrianorKevin, whoever it may be. Benjo Stark also using that slow approach, 28 and 20 right now. Good kill to death ratio. And HHexizy and Dragonbane not far behind though.
Yeah, I think HHexizy just did exactly what you were mentioning earlier. Hit a triple kill in the kill feed there and already back up to 28. Right there with the leaders once again. Went from 25 to 28 real quick, getting themselves right back in the conversation. But we've got multiple players at 28. Darkkiller, he's going to pick up a double. Got a triple earlier, was going for it, didn't quite get it. Look at all the chaos going back and forth right now. Everyone just firing on all cylinders at the moment. We are going to have our first couple players pass over 30 kills. BrianorKevin at 31, HHexizy at 31 as well. Just got that 31st kill. So the battle for first well on its way. The battle for second as well, right on there.
I just want to point out real quick, so you always want to look at those assist totals on the scoreboard, because that kind of shows you like whose kills are maybe getting a little bit snagged from them, maybe getting a little third-partied at times. And the 2 leaders in that assist column is obviously Darkkiller with 16, and then right behind him, it's BrianorKevin with 15 assists, putting up that number of assists with the amount of kills that they have right now. You got to think at some point some of those assists are going to turn into more kills. BrianorKevin may have a very high kill game here if they can turn some of those assists into kills in the second half of this match.
I'd love to see those get turned around. BrianorKevin definitely capable of doing that. I don't know if it's BrianorKevin who's better at getting kills or assists, but I'm gonna have to swap that controller out until we get more kills, right? But Brian did a nice kill there. and dying at the same time. You know how it is. That's Halo free for all for you. You get in a gunfight, and guess what? You're not in a 1v1, you're in a 1v7. But all these players are ready to fight it out for the last 5 minutes here. We got 5 minutes left. We've got multiple players over the 30 kill mark. BrianorKevin in the lead at 35. Right behind is Benjo Stark at 33 with HHexic and Dragonbane trying to get back up there as well. Ooh, oh, the spice! He did not!
That is the play of the game right there. I will not cap. That was absolutely slick, clean, deezy. I mean, absolute plays. Who was that again? Remind me, because we need to highlight that player. Shout out Benjo Stark. I mean, if that's me, I'm going to start piecing for the rest of the game because I'm feeling myself.
That was too unbelievably clean. He's done that before. He's done that many times before. I have not seen it so far in the finals from Benjo Stark, but I tell you what, in his 5th season of the Halo free-for-alls in the HRL, I love to see Benjo Stark hitting some moves on some people. He's going to be in the lead of the lobby with 37 kills. Can Benjo Stark take this one? 4 minutes remaining. The heat is going to get turned up. We see BrianorKevin trying to go off, getting nades back and forth. HHexic trying to get back to the lead by taking him out.
And this one's going to be a nail biter, CNK. 37 apiece for Benjo Stark and BrianorKevin. And at any moment, Dragonbane or HHexic could pop a 3-piece and very quickly be back into this one. This is a 4-man race right here. Kind of the race to maybe 45 kills. I feel like that might be what we end up at here. 3 minutes 30 left to go. You got to play for the placement here because there's a big difference between 1st and 4th in this sort of format. You want to get that 1st place, and if you don't, you want to kind of secure that 2nd place because those points, very important here if you want to take a FFA finals chumpy in here. 1st game means a lot in the grand scheme of things, and you got BrianorKevin about to hit that 40 kill mark.
Shout out BrianorKevin getting up there with the numbers. Benjo Stark right behind with 38. Dragonbane at 37. HHexic at 36. That top 4 closely contested. Who's going to take it? We have no idea. But with a 2 minutes and 50 seconds left, we're going to find out real quick. HHexic with a nice kill also gets the heat wave out of it. Going to maybe try to make a play. He's going to get some damage off on a couple people here. Chance to maybe pick up a kill or 2 here. Isn't quite able to get a kill yet, but is going to get taken down as well. So the heat wave going to be on the ground. Benjo Stark now, active camo in hand. One of these players competing for the top spot at the moment. Going to have to try to get some kills out of this. Is going to get taken down as well.
I mean, that was a very tough situation for HHexic. You could have seen maybe 4 kills go his way, but instead, only 1 does. HHexic, the 2nd player to hit that 40 kill mark. Benjo Stark slowing down just for a moment. BrianorKevin hits that 42 kill mark. Dragonbane not far behind in that 4th place as of now. 2 minutes left to go. It's crunch time here on Aquarius, and let's see who turns up when the heat is turned up to the max. Who is the iciest in these situations? Who is going to say sheesh when they take home the 1st place trophy?
Sheesh. I'm sorry. BrianorKevin at 43, currently in the lead, trying to get established as the leader, but HHexic directly behind with 42. Dragonbane right there at 41, and Benjo Stark at 40. At this point in time, anyone can take the game. Minute and 40 left. These players are all battling it out. Now BrianorKevin getting a little bit of a healthy lead. 2 kills up. I mean, I say healthy lead, but with a minute and a half left, that means absolutely nothing. Like you said, these players competing probably to get just past that 45 kill mark at the moment to take the lead on this one. For all the players ready to go. Minute and 20 seconds remaining. Crunch time is in. The difference between 1st and 4th is going to be absolutely massive. BrianorKevin picks up a massive double kill. Going to probably solidify the lead at the moment. 4 kill difference to the next. Make it 3 as Dragonbane closing the distance. BrianorKevin, all you got to do is probably get 3 more kills to secure it. These players all battling it out.
Oh, Dragonbane with a big 2-piece, making it 45 kills. I'm pretty sure right now. I can't see exactly how many he has. He does have 45, so he's not far behind BrianorKevin. And just remember that 1st place spot, obviously important, most likely locked by BrianorKevin right now with 45 seconds left to go. Dragonbane, though, hot on the chase, sitting at 46 right now. DarkKiller trying to make a play with the active camo, shutting down Dragonbane. Let's not forget that respawn timer, so important at times like these. CN DarkKiller finds another one onto HHexic as well. Now is time for BrianorKevin to get as many kills as they possibly can. 30 seconds left to go, and Benjo Stark is shooting heat waves all over the place.
Yeah, Benjo Stark lighting it up, but currently the leader is Dragonbane. 48 kills, is going to get taken down. That's a 10-second respawn timer with 15 seconds remaining. BrianorKevin 47 directly behind. HHexic at 46. Everyone's dying. We have 2 players tied at 48. BrianorKevin. Dragonbane alive. Gets the 49th kill. Gonna solidify at the moment. 2 seconds remaining and it's over. Nobody gets a kill yet. And just like that, Dragonbane is going to take first place with 49 kills.
And BrianorKevin with 8 points to themselves. And it was definitely a 4-man race there. You had Dragonbane, BrianorKevin, and then not far behind you had HHexizy and Benjo Stark. Pretty sure Benjo Stark ended up placing 4th out of those players, and HHexizy ended in that 3rd place spot. But DarkKiller off to a hot start with 3 kills to his name. And like you said, CNK, obviously you want to place kind of in the top 4 range to kind of cement your possibility to end up winning here tonight. So, I mean, we've never really had a situation like this where you have 4 players really duking it out at all facets. Just like first game is an absolute tear for a lot of them. I mean, you could very well see one of those top 4 players placing in this lower half of the lobby, depending on if somebody like maybe DarkKiller turns up and comes out very hot in this game too. You really never know what's going to happen. I mean, I feel like this Halo FFA Finals, it's going to be a grueler if you want to take it home.
Hey, shout out DarkKiller was picking up 3 pieces all over the place last game. Got at least 2 or 3 of them. Another triple kill coming in there. I think that was Brian who picked that one up. Or maybe it was HHexizy. We're definitely... Who knows? Somebody got it. But DarkKiller shout out last game. Almost got an overkill for us to pretty much start the game off. Wasn't able to finish it out. Was basically 1 burst away. But already this lobby well on its way. Everyone firing all the way across. A couple players up to that 6 kills to start things off here. Looks like we might get a few more kills this lobby than last one.
It is very possible. I feel like we see that a lot in these Halo matches. It's like the pace of play just drastically changes within like the 1st to the 3rd game. It's like 3rd game, you just see people, you know, drop sliding across the map, taking shots on just anybody they can find. And I mean, when you kind of get a lobby like that where people are kind of pushing for those kills, it's a compounding effect, because, you know, somebody that would kind of be in the corner, like maybe throwing peppering shots, is, you know, out in the middle of the map just searching for kills. And, you know, when everybody's doing that, I mean, kills are just going down all over the place. We have DarkKiller already with 9. You know, everybody else not so far behind, but I mean, it's going to be interesting to see how many kills we see happen in this game too, because we saw 49 in the game 1, and that's a good chunk.
Yeah, I mean, 49 for game 1 is always great to see. Usually our game 2, like you've been saying, it's going to pick up a little bit. Game 3s can be a little bit different depending on the season. Sometimes players slow it down a little bit just to secure that top 3 if they had 2 dominant performances in map 1 and map 2. And just like, you know, such things like that, right? We get a little bit of different performances. There is a legit strategy to this. If you're winning individual matches, you get a lot more points than when you would get something like 5th, 6th, or even 4th, right? So your strategy going into that 2nd game and 3rd game might be a little bit different than everyone else. Obviously, you want to win every single one, right? But if you secure a great placement in 1st and 2nd matchup, maybe taking it a little bit easier in the 3rd might be the method for a couple of people.
Yeah, it is very possible. You know, scoreboard looking absolutely solid right now. 4 players above that 10 kill mark. Mr. Stonietoni having a very solid start to the game 2. Just got word about the scoreboard from the game 1. So if anybody is curious how the standings are kind of breaking down right now, in 1st place we got Dragonbane 117, 2nd place BrianorKevin, HHexizy in 3rd, Benjo Stark in 4th, HHexic takes home 5th with 4 points, DarkKiller in 6th, Messi in 7th, and Stonietoni in 8th place right now. So those top 4 are Bane, BrianorKevin, HHexizy, and Benjo Stark. You know they're all going to be really gunning for this game too and trying to get home a big chunk of points, especially those players at the bottom half of that top 4.
Yeah, the bottom half of that gonna have to turn it up a little bit for this matchup. DarkKiller, shout out one of those players turning it up for this 2nd match, knowing very well has to get in that top 3 to get a chance in the 3rd match when it comes to points. But the man, the myth, the legend, Bane 117, Dragonbane that is, looking to stay at the middle of the pack at the moment, a little bit towards the top, right? Only a couple kills behind the leader at the moment, only 4 down. But that's how these lobbies have been going so far, right? The 1st match lobby was very close all the way across until the end for that top 4, and even that 5th place person was very close as well. So I'm assuming this lobby will be exactly the same.
Almost 10 minutes left to go. Max kills we got on the board so far is 16. So around the same pace that we were last time around, but everybody above that 10 kill column. This game, CNK, you know, BrianorKevin, you got Darkkiller, both with 17. But, I mean, for the rest of the lobby, it's looking absolutely close. And that 3-kill lead can disintegrate in a very quick amount of time if you have a slow life or two. Because, you know, we touched on it a little bit, but... you know, there is kind of the backdraw to playing a little fast. It's like, if you're 20 and 20 as opposed to 20 and 10, how many seconds of that is of respawn timer? That's 100 extra seconds of respawn timer that you're getting for a player that's 20 and 20 as opposed to a player that's 20 and 10. So obviously, if you're dying a little bit more, you're getting that extra respawn timer. But I mean, I feel like in the beginning part of the game, you can play for that, but once you get to that later half, those respawn timers really hurt you.
Yeah, I mean, we saw it in the last lobby, right? We saw a player take what we would say is a fairly comfortable lead, right? BrianorKevin took like a 4-kill lead, but then died 3, 4, 5 times in a row, was out for 40 to 50 seconds basically, and allowed Dragonbane to make an insane comeback, right? And bring it all the way back, get to that first place. I say bring it all the way back, but get all 4 kills to tie things back up, get the 5th to getting the lead. And just like that, was able to get that number 1 for the first match. So dying for those 10 seconds is never fun, and it is always going to take away from your capabilities on the map.
BrianorKevin sitting at 23 kills right now, kind of generating a very solid lead. 1 minute away from that halfway point. I always want to see the kill totals at the halfway mark, because that's obviously how we gauge, like, how many kills are we going to see at the end of this lobby. You know, I want to see a game hit that 60 kill count. You know, 50 is good enough, though. We're probably near that if BrianorKevin hits that 25 mark with 7:30 left to go. But, I mean, this is definitely, like, the most comfortable lead that somebody has had so far in this game. We say that, but I mean, last game around, BrianorKevin had a very solid lead as well and ends up, you know, losing out to Dragonbane. So I mean, the second half just as crucial as the first half. This is a marathon, not a sprint. That's what I remember.
Yeah, the marathon is absolutely legit. You're going to be running a lot of miles for a long time here, but all these players ready to go. The kills are coming in. Last time around at the 7.5-minute mark, we saw someone at 27 kills. Now at 7:45, the 27th kill comes in. So BrianorKevin looking to do exactly what we did in the last game. Last game, Dragonbane finished with 49 kills, got the first place spot. Let's see if someone can beat the 49, maybe get into the 50 marker. We've seen a couple players absolutely dominate throughout the history of the Halo Rec League free-for-all series, including I think we had a player at one point in time get like 61 kills or something like that. I think that is the current record, somewhere in the 60s.
I mean, that is an absolutely unbelievable game to hit that 61 kill mark. Really? I mean, people in that lobby must have been playing like lightning in order to find that many kills on the board. But hey, maybe BrianorKevin hits that this game. You never know. Closest players behind him gonna be Darkkiller, gonna be HHexic. Our top 4 are kind of slowing down here in the game too, and I guess it just goes to show like how competitive this lobby is right now. Obviously, BrianorKevin still sitting in that lead, but you know, Benjo, Stark, HHexic, and Dragonbane definitely not having as good of games as they had in the game 1.
Yeah, definitely changing things up maybe a little bit. Shout out Darkkiller for being one of those players that's definitely putting a wrench in a lot of people's plans, right? He's playing a lot better this time around than he did in the last game, and that's changing things out. That's someone, like we mentioned earlier in the stream, that's someone who in the previous series in the season 4 was able to get top 3. So there's someone to look forward to be a threat in this matchup, and is looking to do that here. Look at that, BrianorKevin hitting the 30 kill mark, is going to have a 4-kill lead on the next best player. Is going to give him, I don't even want to say comfortable, because there is nothing comfortable about a 4-kill lead at all. That's like 2 deaths.
That's 1 overkill. I mean, like, it is 2 deaths, essentially. It's like, it can happen very quickly. I mean, I can only imagine playing this. It's like, you end up dying, you're just, like, really hoping you don't see anything crazy happen in the kill feed when you spawn back up. You know what I mean? It's like, you see that respawn time, and you're like, oh boy, like, what's the score gonna look like when I spawn back up? But, you know, hey, I'm not playing. I mean, HHexic 5 kills behind right now. And if BrianorKevin comes out with the #1 spot, you know, obviously Brian would most likely have that #1 placement with 28 points currently. But the rest of the standings, I would have to imagine they would look a little bit wonky if the game ended similar to how the kills are right now.
Yeah, we definitely put a wrench in everyone's plan for sure. Ooh, Benjo Stark. guy's frying right now. But it would definitely put a wrench in everyone's game plan as far as their placements they're looking for in these first two matches. But shout out BrianorKevin for maintaining being in that top two, currently in the first place spot at the moment of this match. The previous match obviously being won by Dragonbane, so he's the overall points leader at the moment. But BrianorKevin is the second person when it comes to points at 8 overall points, 2 behind Dragonbane. So looking to close that gap in this game. Dragonbane in that second place spot right now in this lobby. So they could basically tie places when it comes to the end of this matchup if it were to end right now. But with 4.5 minutes left, these players are looking to put on the heat. We already see a lot of players pushing back and forth. Dragonbane picks up another kill there, looking to extend it out, gets the double kill, looking for maybe a third. Is Messi looking to chow? Messi, maybe the goat of soccer, but we'll see how it goes when it comes to Halo.
36 kills now for BrianorKevin, starting to run away with this one. Just under 5 minutes left to go, about to hit that 4-minute mark, and that's most certainly crunch time. And I feel like the most important player to look at here is going to be Dragonbane, because you know it really doesn't matter how many kills BrianorKevin gets as long as Dragonbane can get that second place locked in for his own sake, to kind of you know create that who's gonna win in the game 3. It's like they'll both be at the 28-point mark, and it'll be a battle for the #1 spot. I mean, we have to assume BrianorKevin, very solid player, maybe one of the best players in the lobby, no doubt about it. He played absolutely fantastic in the game 1, kind of threw away that lead. Now off to a very big lead here in the game 2. Dragonbane, though, like I just said, it doesn't matter how many kills you get, it's about your placement.
Placement is basically everything. I say basically, it is literally everything. We see these players fighting a Benjo Stark. He's getting into a sticky situation here. BrianorKevin helping out his long-term free-for-all teammate, Dragonbane. I'm just kidding, of course. Dragonbane there, being somewhat safe from a death to BrianorKevin. But BrianorKevin up to 42. The next closest is going to be at 34. Make it 44 as BrianorKevin just absolutely frying right now, up to a substantial lead, up by 9. 3 minutes remaining. It's going to be tough for anyone to catch up to this one. But Dragonbane, 36, looking to try to make the comeback. Darkkiller in that third place spot at the moment with 33. Someone we've seen get plenty of triple kills so far is Darkkiller, so it is definitely possible for him to close the gap.
Yeah, absolutely. Dragonbane, 36. BrianorKevin most certainly have locked down this game now with an 8-kill lead with 2 minutes left to go. Unless something absolutely catastrophic happens, we will see BrianorKevin taking home that #1 spot. And Dragonbane, creating a sizable lead for themselves. 2 minutes, 20 seconds left to go. Big placement moments here for the rest of the game.
A big placement at the end of the game here for sure. We see Darkkiller secured that 6th place spot in the first match, looking to try to make it a top 3 now. Only a 2-kill lead on the next best player, trying to close that gap. But there's going to be a 1-kill lead difference now as Benjo Stark, who's been frying over the last couple minutes, trying to catch up to these leaders. He's done a very good job of doing so. Going to secure that 2nd or 3rd place spot. We see HHexic also up there. The 2nd and 3rd place position are definitely on the line at the moment with 1 minute and 45 left. No one is safe at the moment. BrianorKevin, the only one you could say is possibly safe with a 7-kill lead. Dragonbane in 2nd at 40. But these players competing for 3rd, 4th, and 5th are very close. I mean, we're within 4 to 5 kills for all of those positions.
Benjo Stark definitely going to be wanting to take home that 3rd place spot. Darkkiller, the only one in front of them. I'm looking at those two to kind of make the difference here in the standings. Messi with a big 2-piece right there, applying that pressure on the map. 42 deaths for HHexizy in this game 2. We talked about how fast they were playing in the game 1. Game 2 maybe doesn't necessarily work out for them as well. You see Benjo Stark there dying again, allowing for Darkkiller to get that 3-kill lead onto Benjo Stark. Benjo Stark sitting in 4th place, like we said before. So this would be a big turnaround for Darkkiller if he could get a 3rd placement here going into that final game 3.
I mean, he's going to be closely followed, though, by HHexic, who's got 35 kills, 30 assists, and 41 deaths. The guy is just going nuts, bro. That guy is lighting it up. With all these players fighting it out, 40 seconds remaining. First place should be secured. BrianorKevin at 48. Never mind. Dragonbane has brought it back. He's at 45. BrianorKevin, the last 2 minutes, has really only gotten 1 kill. Dragonbane going to have a chance to bring it back. Only down by 2. 30 seconds remaining. The fight for first is on the line again. It could happen once again. Darkkiller a little bit behind, but has probably secured the 3rd place spot. But first, definitely still on the line. 15 seconds remaining. Dragonbane picks up the 47th. He's gonna die though, not gonna have enough time at this point, but BrianorKevin is dead as well. He hits the respawn, no kills for him yet, up by 1. Dragonbane looking to get a desperate kill. No one really in sight. He's got one player with active camo right next to him, isn't gonna spot him, but BrianorKevin picks up a kill, gets to 49, and just like that, first place secured by BrianorKevin. He's not letting it happen. First place currently is Dragonbane after 2 matches, tied at 18 points with BrianorKevin. Closely by, though, is going to be Benjo Stark, the man, the myth, the legend, who's been around a long time here for the Halo Free-For-All series with 12 points. Right behind them, 6 points behind. And then Killer going to be at 10 points, not far behind as well, 8 behind. So the top 4 is going to matter quite a bit for this upcoming match. So whoever takes first, second, third, and fourth is probably going to determine how this goes. But Dragonbane and BrianorKevin, they secure themselves top 3, one or the other. They can pretty much secure it between whoever gets the better placement of the 2.
Yeah, I mean, this game means everything for the Halo FFA finals. Like CNK said, big back and forth between BrianorKevin and Dragonbane. Winner will win the Halo FFA finals for sure. If either of those players can get the #1 spot, they will be taking this one home. A lot of kills happening in the first 2 minutes of the game, first minute of the game. But I mean, this first 5 minutes is really like just kind of a warm up for everybody, getting back into pace, getting their feet under their legs, and just trying to see, you know, what the lay of the land is giving here in this map 3, because I mean, everybody's playing for the top here.
Yeah, everybody is indeed playing for the top. Shout out all of our leaders currently up in that top part right now, fighting it out for the victory. But we've got a lot of players up to that 6 kill mark. This is pretty much how we've seen every match go, right? Everyone's pretty close for the first couple minutes. It's not until the last 4 or 5 before we start to see who like the real top 3 players are going to be in the match. So I'm curious to see if this one will be the same.
I mean, you never know with this lobby. It's like anybody can place in that top 4 placement. So you really do never know. Maybe somebody new finds their footing here in the Halo FFA finals, and they take home the #1 spot. Right now it's Dragonbane sitting at 10-3 so far. Not necessarily certain he's even playing the slow game right now. Maybe just playing quick, but finding a lot of those kills to his name. And now it is better than ever to do it. Obviously BrianorKevin not far behind with 8 kills to their name, but Dragonbane definitely getting off to a hot start here.
Yeah, love to see that, one of the leaders gaining the lead, right? It's someone you want to see fry all game long, get themselves all the way up there. But remember, there is always a chance for players like Benjo Stark and Darkkiller to get themselves right on back into this one. It would require BrianorKevin or Dragonbane, well, actually, both of them to place in that bottom 4. But in this lobby, anything is indeed possible. So we could always see something like that happen. But we see all these players absolutely fighting it out across the map right now. 12 minutes left, so really nothing like time-wise is on the board, but game 1 finishing, the top killer was at 49. Game 2 was also 49. Dragonbane in the first, and BrianorKevin in the second. Ooh, HHexic with a nice triple kill. Talk about the man getting 30 assists last game, getting those kills now to 14 already, trying to show everyone what's up.
Yeah, and I mean, even if you're not able to win the Halo FFA finals tonight, if you can place first in one of these matches, you definitely get your fair share of bragging rights. It's like you definitely get to be like, hey, I mean, I won one of those maps. I'm not sure if you recall, but yeah, HHexic could definitely do that with the way he is setting pace right now. 16 kills on the board for him so far. And like you said, CNK, I mean, after the 30 assist game in the map 2, I couldn't expect anything less, truly.
Yeah, you got to be able to turn those into kills at some point in time, and HHexic definitely showing us how to do that, right? Getting some lights out kills at the moment. But right now, once again, just like our previous matches, our top 3 very closely contested. Honestly, our last match, it was literally every single player in the lobby except for the top 2 were within like 5 to 6 kills, which is insane. It's not something we typically see in the Halo FFA finals. We usually get a couple of outliers, but today is going to be a special day for sure when it comes to the results of this. 10 minutes or so remaining, everyone ready to go. You know, a lot is on the line for Dragonbane and our boy BrianorKevin. I should say our boys BrianorKevin, because there's 2 people. We don't know which one we've got tonight, but we know the one that we do have is absolutely frying.
I mean, you never know. Maybe they're switching off between maps. I mean,
maybe, that would explain the play style difference. Just kidding.
I mean,
Imagine.
that would be quite a surprise. It's like, hey, I mean, it's my turn on the sticks, buddy. Brian, I might say. This is Kevin speaking, of course, but 17 kills so far. One of them is playing. 17 and 5, indeed. I mean, everybody playing as fast as they possibly can, no doubt about it. Some people working for better than others. Dragonbane, you know, fast start to the game, but has had his fair share of deaths in between that time and now. Now up to 13 deaths, but picking up 16 kills to his name, 7 assists as well. The assist leader so far is actually BrianorKevin. So maybe BrianorKevin, maybe this is their time to take it home. I mean, from what we've seen so far, they might be the most consistent player of the bunch. Oh, yeah. Dragonbane just has really been turning up when it matters most.
Hey, Dragonbane is clutch as clutch gets, right? I would fully expect when this one gets down to the wire, Dragonbane is going to be the one to look for. Honestly, this entire game long, with what we saw in match 1 and match 2, Dragonbane is not someone you want to be down points to at all. I mean, when I say down points to, I mean, be up points to, because he's just going to get clutch and start getting crazy kills. But Dragonbane, that first matchup, he was down by 4 or 5 kills, ended up bringing it back with really only like a minute left in the game. BrianorKevin ended up losing the first match, but the second match, BrianorKevin up by 7 or 8 kills, also gets brought back on. Dragonbane doesn't quite get it because BrianorKevin gets a last-second kill to make sure he clutches up and secures the first place spot. But Dragonbane almost does it 2 matches in a row. You got to think he's got something special in the bank for us tonight on this one as well.
Darkkiller, showing us what he's made of as well. 20 kills to his name so far, meeting that 20 kill column club. Sitting there with BrianorKevin and HHexic so far. I mean, Dragonbane, I mean, we've said it a million times now. It's really a race between him and BrianorKevin, no matter where BrianorKevin is on the score sheet. But right now, BrianorKevin sitting at first place, 45 interactions to their name currently. I mean, that is quite the speed they are playing at. 11 assists as well, also leading the lobby in assists. He's playing for the dub here.
Playing for the dub indeed. BrianorKevin lighten up the scoreboard as per usual, right? This is what we expect out of him by this point after the first 2 matches. Messy with a nice little clean double kill there, including Dragonbane. Gonna force Dragonbane to have a slower little bit start here to the middle part of the game, but with 7:30 left, we're once again at around that 25, 26, 27 kill marker at the moment, which will put us basically the exact same as match 1 and match 2. So we're looking at a 49 kill difference, well, not difference, final once again. But BrianorKevin up to 27, a 2 kill lead on Darkkiller, who Darkkiller has been frying.
Absolutely has. Sitting at 12 assists as well, takes that assist lead away from BrianorKevin. Not that it matters that much. I just like taking a look at who has the most assists in the lobby, because very interesting at times. But
it matters. It matters. It's a stat for a reason. In Halo, it's one of the most important stats as a whole, even in the FFA finals.
I mean, yeah, because it shows like the potential for kills. It's like kill potential. That's like the assists and what they mean for a player. BrianorKevin surpassing that 30 kill mark. Dragonbane 9 kills behind. We have seen Dragonbane surmount some incredible kill differences, but I mean, this one could very well be out of reach. You just truly never know when he's gonna decide to turn it on when it matters most, because he becomes different in that final 3 minutes of the game.
In the final 3 minutes of the game, might as well be named Dragonbane time. But that was awful. But oh man, BrianorKevin though currently up by 10 kills over Dragonbane, and the battle really is between those 2 players at the moment. No one really close enough to close it out by this point. Dragonbane and BrianorKevin would have to finish in the bottom 4 for someone else to take the victor, and the next closest person would be Benjo Stark and then Darkkiller. So these players are hoping that Dragonbane keeps playing a little bit slow, and BrianorKevin somehow just stops getting kills as a whole. But BrianorKevin looking to close this one out at the moment.
5 minutes and 45 seconds left to go. The pace of play has improved drastically from game 1, from at least my perspective. Dragonbane finds himself caught out in the middle of the map, gets taken down. BrianorKevin 34 and 28 right now with 5 minutes left. Mr. Stonietoni trying to make a name for himself here in the FFA finals. Gets a melee kill onto HHexizy right there. everybody playing their part. I mean, obviously we've been talking about BrianorKevin and DragonBane this entire time, but I mean, apart from them, it's kind of a mixed bag on what the placements are going to look like here in these finals matches. It's like anybody can take home that third place spot. I mean, right now you see DarkKiller sitting at 36 kills in first place. I mean, snagging the lead from BrianorKevin. Also, 17 assists to their name. The kill potential is high. DragonBane goes down, or BrianorKevin actually goes down. DragonBane with the active camo in hand, and I feel like, you know, if you're going to start your comeback, it has to start very soon.
Yeah, this is the time to do it, right? With 4 minutes and 40 seconds left, DragonBane gonna have to get a lot of kills here to catch up to BrianorKevin. The victor between those two will take the series at this point in time. We've got a couple other players trying to keep themselves up there, but being down 6 or more points is going to be a little bit brutal because BrianorKevin and DragonBane have gotten first and second each in the match 1 and match 2. So they're both looking very good for points, both at 18. But now the kill leader currently, though, is DarkKiller at 39. This is someone we've seen have insane kill potential all series long. Looking to be the one who breaks the current, we'll say, this season kill record is currently set at 49 by DragonBane and BrianorKevin tied for that overall kills in the lobbies of match 1 and match 2. DarkKiller looking to try to pass that, though.
Yeah, DarkKiller certainly on pace to do so. Finds his 41st on the board. Does end up dying. Gonna have to watch through that respawn timer, but will be spawning up with a vengeance. And like I said earlier, definitely fair share of bragging rights. Be able to win one of the Halo FFA finals matches because it is stiff competition over here in the Halo Rec League. Everybody having their moments. Mr. Stonietoni gets taken down. DragonBane, kind of a slow portion of the map, but still only 8 kills behind BrianorKevin, which, you know, it could go in a flash.
It's the only player we can say only 8 kills for, right?
Yeah.
Because of what he was able to do in the previous matches. So that is for sure DragonBane definitely not out of this. Yo, apparently DarkKiller had a 67 kill game in week 2 of this season. DarkKiller is an absolute dog. This guy's a menace. Up to 44 right now, 2 minutes and 50 seconds left, so plenty of time for him to get more kills. But DragonBane currently down just 8 kills to BrianorKevin. BrianorKevin at 37, make it 38. That's going to be a big kill there to help him secure a little bit more of a healthy lead. But DragonBane up to 30, trying to extend that out. DragonBane going to need a lot more kills here to catch up in 2 minutes and 40 seconds. And he's been dying a lot to a lot of players collapsing on him, but he is up to 31. BrianorKevin at 38. So DragonBane going to have a chance.
2 minutes and 30 seconds left to go. DarkKiller could potentially still break this season's finals kill record, sitting at 49 right now, the most in the lobby so far. BrianorKevin just trying to play it slow, not die any extra times that he needs to, because he knows he's in a very comfortable spot here right now, points wise. Obviously not going to win this game most likely, but you're probably going to take home that gold. So let's make sure we're still, you know, finding a lot of kills on the board. You know, you never know what could happen with the point totals. You know, if BrianorKevin places around, you know, 4th or 5th place, things could potentially get mixy. DarkKiller is sitting at 10 points right now, so I'm not sure. I think BrianorKevin would have to place 7th in order to maybe lose, but I find that unlikely. We're going to have to just see how it pans out. Minute 30 left to go. Like we've said a couple of times here, it's crunch time.
It is crunch time indeed. A minute and 30 left on the clock. All these players absolutely frying. Shout out HHexic, by the way, the player with 30 assists in the last game, definitely turning those into kills now, up to 45. But DarkKiller with a minute and 15 left ties this overall finals record for kills at 49, looking to extend that. These players still frying. BrianorKevin up 5 kills on DragonBane. That's the battle you're looking at for first. If DragonBane can get, well, 6 kills so far to BrianorKevin 0, that would be his chance to bring himself back and take the victory. But DragonBane getting encircled by all sides, gets a kill, gets out with his life, has a chance to get a little bit of health back here. But BrianorKevin also going to go down. DragonBane looking to turn up the heat. This guy always gets it done. But 45 seconds left. Is it possible? Needs 3 more, make it 4 more to tie. Is BrianorKevin still left alive, frying out there?
You do have 40 seconds left, so it is very possible. There's 38 right now. Only down 3. Can you find any third-party kills? There's another one, 39 to 42. Can he find the third on the board? DarkKiller is going to rain on his parade, taking him down yet again. It's the second time DarkKiller has kind of shut down a kill opportunity for DragonBane. Now sitting at 39 with 16 seconds left. You're going to need a triple kill, and it's DarkKiller again, shutting down somebody, but DragonBane, he finds that 40th kill, needs 3 in 8 seconds. It's not gonna happen, and I'm pretty sure that's gonna cement the victory in the favor of BrianorKevin tonight. He takes home the Halo FFA Finals Championship.